So another core part of the Heist operations machine from a software stack standpoint is the entire Google suite of tools. So that is email, that is Google Sheets and spreadsheets, that's documents, and that's storing and housing actual files. So I wanted to just do a talking heads video on how we use this so I can kind of just verbalize it. So I think as a starting point for general access, that's really important, is that we actually use the business suite to manage our emails and access to everything. If you've got multiple Amazon brands or initiatives that you manage with your teams, I generally speaking have kind of a parent company that's used as the sole kind of element of communications. So for us, that's Heist Labs. So underneath Heist Labs is my YouTube stuff, my core stuff, all of my individual Amazon brands and initiatives, all those things all kind of feed into Heist Labs. So all of us have a Heist Labs email. Whenever we hire somebody, we open up a new account for the email. And then all of our general file structure, Google Sheets, all that stuff is using that kind of master email. If you've just got one brand and only anticipate having one brand, I think everybody just having that email totally makes sense as well. But generally speaking, we have that parent company structure that everything feeds into. So from that, all of our Google Sheets we access, any of our Google documents, any of the files that we store, all feed into that parent company. If there's individual assets for particular brands, we also have some subfolder structures and some sub access. So the customer service person will have access to the support email for each brand because there's obviously distinct customer interactions and things that happen at the brand level. So we manage those independently. And then there are some times to have individual company files that are accessible in their own folder. So we'll structure it that way. But I think it's super important as soon as possible to get into a cloud-based structure like the GSuite. I don't think that there's any better one out there than the Google platform. When you've got people editing spreadsheets, documents, sending emails, it's really important to have, I think, that decentralized structure in the cloud so that everybody has access to stuff in real time. Having actual static files that you're passing back and forth, even if you're saving them in a cloud-based storage system, just becomes very difficult to scale. For us, G Suite's where it's at. The other thing as a leader and manager of your company, which is super important, is that you can turn off those accesses at any time. So you can shut off email, you can shut off access if you say had to fire an employee or something bad happened, you can kind of shut all that stuff off. We also use those company emails to access and grant user permissions to all of our Amazon accounts as well. Similarly, that can all be shut off remotely if needed, which I think is super important in terms of protecting your private information, especially if you need to transition an employee out of your business. So that's how we use the Google Suite.